Jungkook seen anxious after Jimin leaks BTS album. Fans now ask, is HYB angry? Or is something bigger happening behind the scenes? What happens when the world's most disciplined, most media-trained, most globally scrutinized boy band suddenly loses control of its own comeback narrative? What happens when one whispered sentence from Jimin, one unexpected confession spoken in a softly lit Tokyo studio, travels faster than HYB can react, faster than American networks can strategize, faster than even Jungkook can process? And more importantly, what happens when the golden magne himself begins to look worried? Did he fear backlash? Did he fear pressure? Or did Jungkook know something the world didn't? Those are the questions haunting the fandom, the press, and even industry insiders across Seoul, Tokyo, and New York. And now, as the shockwaves intensify, one lingering mystery grows louder by the hour. Was HYB secretly furious at Jimin's explosive reveal? Or is this all part of a carefully orchestrated confusion designed to dominate global headlines? To understand why everything feels unstable, why fans are losing sleep refreshing social media, why reporters are analyzing facial expressions frame by frame, why Jungkook's sudden anxiety became the internet's new obsession, we must rewind to the moment Jimin casually detonated the entertainment world. IT happened without theatrics.
No teaser.
No plan.
No countdown clock.
Just a simple sentence that shattered the silence that BTS had held for 2 years. There's a new BTS album. 7 syllables. One emotional earthquake. Within minutes, ARMY across continents were screaming in disbelief. Yellowly Japan, perhaps unintentionally, became the most powerful entertainment outlet of the week. American networks panicked. Korean insiders froze. And somewhere deep inside HYB's headquarters, executives reportedly rushed into emergency meetings to assess the situation. But the moment that surprised the world the most, the moment that turned curiosity into full-blown global drama, didn't come from Jimin. IT came from Jungkook. Cameras captured him later that day, arriving quietly at a private recording facility in Seoul. Fans expected calm professionalism, a typical Jungkook demeanor. But instead, they saw something else. A tightness around his mouth, a shift in posture, a distraction in his eyes. His normally relaxed wave felt unusually stiff. And ARMY, trained for years to notice even the subtlest change, immediately asked, why does Jungkook look anxious? Was he worried about the leak? About HYB's reaction? About the comeback order being disrupted? Or about the world interpreting Jimin's excitement as a mistake? The timing was too perfect to ignore. And the internet did not ignore it. Some fans insisted Jungkook's tension was nothing more than exhaustion, or focus, or the weight of preparing for a monumental comeback after years of silence. Others were convinced that cameras caught something raw and unfiltered, a genuine moment of pressure that the youngest member wasn't ready to share. And then came the rumor. HYB was not happy, and no one knows who whispered it first. A journalist in Seoul? An editor in LA? A fan who overheard staff outside a studio? But within hours, the question spread like wildfire across X, TikTok, and Korean portals. Did HYB scold Jimin? Did the company reprimand him for jumping ahead of the official rollout? Did Jungkook hear something during internal meetings that caused his sudden shift in behavior? No answer arrived.
No spokesperson spoke.
No clarification was released, which only escalated the chaos. Meanwhile, American television entered a frenzy unlike anything seen since BTS's 2020 global domination era. The moment the clip reached Jimmy Fallon, the late-night host famously reacted with a half-joking, half-panicked plea. Jimin, buddy, don't announce it anywhere else first. It was a joke. But it wasn't a joke. For years, The Tonight Show was BTS's symbolic American home. Fallon built an entire visual universe around them, from subway karaoke to Fortnite battles to global record-breaking appearances that redefined late-night programming. But suddenly, a Japanese magazine had beaten every US network to the first comeback hint, and the panic in the industry was real. Executives across Los Angeles and New York scrambled to contact HYB, begging, pitching, negotiating, and pleading for the first comeback appearance. They knew what it meant. The show that gets BTS first doesn't just get ratings. It gets global cultural dominance. It gets history. But in the middle of this war, Jungkook's subtle anxiety became a symbol. The golden magne, the member who usually exudes confidence, who can turn any stage into his universe, who rarely shows discomfort, looked like the only person in the room processing the full weight of what Jimin's reveal meant not just for America, not just for HYB, but for BTS themselves. Because for the first time, the comeback narrative was out of their hands. The world was writing it for them, and Jungkook, surprisingly, couldn't hide the pressure. Analysts began replaying the footage, dissecting every second. Some argued that Jungkook's reaction was simply the stress of preparing for a world-shaking comeback. Others believed he was concerned for Jimin, knowing how online backlash can twist even the purest moments. A few industry watchers whispered that maybe, just maybe, Jungkook feared that HYB's internal reaction wasn't gentle. After all, BTS has always executed their rollouts with unmatched precision. A leaked album announcement, accidental or not, creates complications. Marketing timelines, global synchronizations, legal contracts, partnership deals, government permissions for large-scale events. A single sentence can disrupt a year of planning, and Jimin's sentence did exactly. The SO was Jungkook anxious because he cared about the comeback? Because he cared about his hyung? Because he feared fan misinterpretations? Or because he heard the internal discussions behind closed doors? No one knows. But as the world obsesses over Jungkook's expression, another question grows louder. Is HYB really angry? Or is this chaos intentional? Could it be that Jimin's spontaneous moment was actually a strategic soft drop designed to measure global reaction? Could HYB be using the uproar to build momentum ahead of a monumental coordinated announcement? Could the company benefit more from confusion than from calm? Some executives say yes. Others laugh at the idea. What everyone agrees on is this: the timing of Jungkook's anxious moment right after Jimin's reveal has transformed what should have been a simple comeback teaser into one of the most dramatic media storms in BTS history. And now, fans have turned their attention to the one question no one saw coming. Is something shifting inside BTS? Normally, RM delivers official information. Normally, the leader speaks first. But this time, it wasn't RM. It wasn't HYB. It wasn't a planned statement. IT was Jimin, soft-spoken, emotional, sincere Jimin. The member who expresses truth before strategy. The member who feels before calculating. SO, what does it mean that he became the first voice of the comeback era? Is Jimin stepping into a new role? A symbolic messenger? The emotional compass of BTS's new chapter? Or was it simply a heartfelt slip during a moment of excitement? Theories multiply by the hour. Jungkook's reaction only fuels them. Some believe his anxious expression reflected the weight of knowing the world is scrutinizing every move. Others argue that he is preparing an enormous role in the comeback, possibly the opening track, the center position, or even a solo-driven performance, and the pressure is simply too much to conceal. But another rumor is far more emotional. Jungkook was worried for Jimin. He didn't want Jimin to face criticism. He didn't want the fandom to misinterpret the warmth behind the moment. He didn't want HYB to respond harshly. He didn't want conflict, miscommunication, or pain, because Jungkook's bond with Jimin is one of the strongest threads in BTS's history, and that is why the world cannot stop analyzing their dynamic in this unfolding story. Still, as the dust settles, one truth stands. Jimin's sentence did not merely tease a comeback. It sparked a complete reordering of American entertainment strategy, ignited an international bidding war, created new theories about internal group dynamics, and triggered a wave of emotion and speculation centered around Jungkook's rare moment of visible tension. Did the leak help the comeback? Did it hurt it? Did it create necessary noise? Did it reveal cracks in the media plan? Did it show HYB's vulnerability? Did it expose BTS's humanity? We may not know yet, but there is something undeniably electric about this moment. Something real, something loud, something global, and something that feels like the beginning of a new era. An era where one sentence can shake the world and one camera shot of Jungkook can send the internet into investigative overdrive. As the chaos continues, one question now stands at the center of every conversation. Every news segment, every fan thread, every executive meeting. When BTS finally steps onto their first stage of 2026, whose emotions will speak the loudest? Jimin's excitement, Jungkook's pressure, RM's leadership, HYB's strategy, or the world's expectations? The answer is coming. And when it arrives, it won't just announce an album. IT will rewrite everything. But just when fans thought the storm had reached its peak, another unexpected twist emerged. One that turned the already intense speculation into a full-blown international investigation. It began with a single phrase whispered online, a phrase that multiplied into thousands of comments within minutes. Jungkook didn't just look anxious, he looked like someone who knew something was about to break. The idea spread faster than the original clip of Jimin's reveal. Suddenly, analysts across Korea, Japan, and the United States started revisiting everything Jungkook had done in the last 48 hours. His movements, his silence, his lack of live streams, his unusually quick exit from a rehearsal studio. It didn't fit his usual patterns. Jungkook, the member who often comforts fans, who reassures them with spontaneous Weverse comments or late-night smiles, had gone unusually quiet. Was he protecting something? Or was he preparing for a conversation he didn't want the public to hear? Rumors swirled that Jungkook had been summoned to a private meeting at HYB after the leak, not because he did anything wrong, but because leadership wanted to know what the members themselves thought of Jimin's sudden reveal. After all, BTS is not just a brand. They are 7 individuals with opinions that carry global weight. If one member accidentally shifts the narrative, the ripple effect hits all of them. And according to one industry insider, speaking anonymously to avoid repercussions, that meeting was emotionally charged and, shouting. No anger, but tension to tension caused by timing, responsibility, excitement, fear, and the colossal scale of what the comeback represents. When a single word from a BTS member can move stock prices, alter network strategies, and dominate international headlines, every slip carries global impact. And Jungkook, sensitive by nature, may have felt the weight of it more deeply than anyone expected. Fans began analyzing the possibility that Jungkook's anxiety wasn't directed at HYB or even at the leak itself, but at the magnitude of the world's reaction. He has always been aware of how intensely people watch the group. He has always understood the pressure that comes with being the center of the industry. And perhaps this time, he felt it more sharply than usual. After all, this is not just any comeback. This is BTS returning after military service. This is BTS re-entering a music world that changed dramatically during their absence. This is BTS facing a world waiting for something bigger than a comeback, waiting for a cultural reset, and suddenly, without warning, Jimin's words had accelerated the countdown. Jungkook's tension was not merely a reaction, it was a signal that the comeback is real, a signal that the members are preparing, a signal that the world is about to feel something unprecedented. Yet the public didn't stop questioning. The narrative morphed again when a fan account posted a slow-motion clip of Jungkook entering a black van outside HYB. His hand brushed his temple, a gesture ARMY recognized as one he does when stressed or thinking intensely. That single gesture sparked another wave of theories. Was Jungkook protecting Jimin from backlash by absorbing the pressure himself? Was he wrestling with the responsibility of delivering what could be the biggest comeback of their career? Or was he carrying information he couldn't yet reveal? Whatever the truth was, HYB's silence only magnified the confusion. Traditionally, the company issues clarifications quickly when speculation grows out of control. But this time they said nothing. No statement. No correction. No reassurance. Why? Was HYB intentionally letting the chaos build? Was the company using the speculation to amplify anticipation? Or was HYB itself scrambling behind the scenes, adjusting timelines, negotiating networks, revising marketing plans after Jimin's unexpected confession? Meanwhile, Jimin behaved as though nothing unusual had happened, smiling, greeting fans, appearing relaxed in public. And that contrast only intensified the spotlight on Jungkook. The world couldn't help but notice the difference in their energy. Jimin, calm, radiant, unbothered. Jungkook, tense, thoughtful, distracted, and the question grew louder. Why? Some insiders floated a dramatic theory. Jungkook knew about upcoming filming schedules, press tours, and recording sessions that Jimin had unknowingly disrupted. Others suggested the opposite. Jungkook wasn't worried about HYB at all, but about whether fans might blame Jimin for something that was ultimately harmless. Because Jungkook has always protected his members, he has always stepped into the emotional gaps, and perhaps this was one of those moments. Then came another twist. A leaked report from a Japanese entertainment outlet claimed that HYB had initially planned to announce BTS's comeback through a global partnership with a US network. Possibly The Tonight Show, possibly Disney, possibly even a major award show. And that Jimin's early reveal might have forced the company to consider moving the timeline up. If true, the stakes were higher than anyone imagined. Because this comeback is not just about music, IT is about reclaiming a global throne.